It's Wednesday night, the end of day 3 of the Goffs November foal sale. It's fair to say the weather has been horrible today, but the trade has been electric, as it has been over the 3 days. Group Chief Executive Henry Beebe is with me now. That must have given you a whole lot of satisfaction today.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, we took a bit of a risk this year. We changed the format. We mixed things up a bit, but by God, it worked. I mean, we're up 22%. We're really, really happy. Today's sale was on fire, 85% clearance rate. For a foal to make $1 million is an extraordinary price, and this is the 3rd year out of 4 we've sold $1 million plus foal. Incidentally, the last one that made the same price, we sold the Dubawi, now called Gaiath, for $1.1 million to John Ferguson a couple of years ago. And of course, as you know, he's now one of the winter favourites for the Derby. So I hope this beautiful filly goes on and turns out to be a top-class filly as well. Everything's right for her to do so. She's by the best in Galileo. She was beautiful. She's from a wonderful family. But she was the tops of a really, really strong day. Lots of happy people and 3 really strong days. I mean, we're up across the board. Every day was up. Electric atmosphere, as you say, pinhookers, end users, people from overseas, lots of people from the home team. Really, really strong trade, but delighted.
Yeah, that Galileo filly, one of 3 Galileos in the sale. The only Galileos to sell as foals in world auction this year. That's true.
And that's a big deal. It's very true. We're very privileged to have them. We can't do anything without the support of our vendors, and that's not being over humble. That's just a complete fact. So we need to have the trust of the vendors, of the best Irish breeders, and happily the owners of these 3 Galileos picked Goffs. They could have gone anywhere. I mean, they'd have graced any catalogue cover, they'd have topped any sale anywhere in the world. But they came to Goffs, they made the money, and we were delighted to have them.
What are your other, perhaps less obvious observations about the trade through the 3 days?
Well, I think first of all, just a very solid 3 days that augurs well for the future. It means we should have some very nice yearlings coming back who've been bought here because we incentivise the buyers to bring them back to Goffs next year or sell them in Doncaster. In terms of sire profile, I mean, the obvious ones have done really well. But I think the first season sire that's really made a mark has been Gutafan. I mean, frenzied bidding for them, but rightly so. They're, Son of Dark Angel, a really good mover himself, and they all look the part. So I expect to sell plenty of those in future years. But the sort of overriding feeling, the message, the story for the whole week was just multiple bidders on so many horses. As an auctioneer, really having to go for it because bids coming from all over the place the whole time, and that's always a really good sign. We were never waiting to get started. We got on with it, and it was just exciting.
Just finally, Henry, you made Nick Nugent cry today, something you've been trying to do for several years.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, we've worked together for 10 years and we've known each other a long time. But I was working for him today rather than working with him. I mean, I'm always working with him, but I was working for him because he and his wife Alice had a beautiful acclamation from their family to sell today. And I think it's fair to say, you can ask him, but I think we probably doubled what he hoped for. And so happily tears of joy, and not the other sort. But he was one of many. He and Alice were one of many vendors who were genuinely delighted. And of course Nick's going to sell in Goffs, but he did very well. But so many other people sold with us today, and it's very gratifying when vendors come up and say we did the right thing. I mean, you say that Golden Horn near the end. That was Brian Gleeson's, one of your colleagues. This time last year, I said, Brian, what do we have to do to get your best foal next year? And we had a chat, and he said, I'll tell you what, I like what you're saying. You can have the Golden Horn next year. And then he's delighted too. So, Brian, your colleague, my colleague, I don't know if Brian cried or not, but he certainly smiled, like lots of people did. It was great.
Yep, your friends, my friends, everybody's friends seem to do well here at Goffs today. And who knows, quite a few of them might well be back here representing at the Orby sale at Yearlings next year. Henry, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for joining us during the course of the day. Hope you've enjoyed our updates. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you day 1 of the mare's sales, and then there's more foals later on in the week. But it's been a spectacular day's trade. It might have been cold, but it certainly warmed us up in here. Bye-bye.